If you are coming to China for the first time, this video might help you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Dr. Usaid and I've been living in China for past 5 years. In this video, I will be sharing some experiences, some tips and some things which people who are coming to China for the first time need to know. Where to live in China as a student, and if you are a Muslim, if you eat halal food, then where to find halal food in China, what is the significance of halal food in China, and the third option, that what are the better modes of transportation in China being a student, that it becomes cheaper for you to travel from one place to another. So all these points I will discuss in today's video, and I will not make it too long. It will be a short video inshallah. So let's get to the point. So out of all these points, the first point which comes to mind is where to live in China. If you are a student and you're coming to China to study, of course you have a university here. So the university must have some hostels. So the first option which comes to your mind, inshallah, will be that you will live in hostel. And I will give you a sneak peek of the average hostels of China, what it looks like. Okay, so the average hostel of China looks something like this, in which you have one room, but 4 people share the same room. And as you can see, there are 4 beds in the same room, with the kitchen space, with the study space, and as well as the bathroom is also in the same room. So this is kind of the average view of the hostels in China. And if you ask me what are the rates of these hostels, it depends on the quality of the hostel. These kinds of hostels vary from 1200 yuan to 1600 yuan per year in China. And the other side, if you want to live outside the hostels, if you want to live outside your university, this is a sneak peek of an average apartment of China. We lived in this apartment back in 2021, and it had 3 rooms, 1 kitchen, 2 bathrooms and a living space. And it costed us around about 2000 yuan for 6 months. Yes. So if you ask me which option is better among the hostels or the apartment, so I will answer you that both of these options have their own pros and their own cons. For example, if you live in the hostels of the university, you have more chance to attend the classes on time. You are closer to the libraries, you are closer to the classrooms, and the environment of the classroom is, pretty good to study there. But if you live outside, there are much more benefits if you want to travel more. Yeah, you can travel even if you live in the hostel, but as you know, when there was the peak of COVID-19 in China, so the students who were living in hostels were unable to go out in a normal way. They had to ask every time the management of the university, and it was really strict there. But the students who were living outside in the apartments, they had a little bit of chance to sneak out, and that's why they used to go out. They used to travel a little bit, not more, because it was strictly prohibited in all over the China. But yeah, you can say there are more chances to sneak out if you live outside. So yeah, that's the pros of apartments, and the pros of hostels are on their own. Come to the second point. Now if you're a Muslim like me, alhamdulillah, then it is obvious that you will find halal food in China. And it is a myth that China does not provide halal food. There is deficiency of halal food in China. This is totally a myth. This is not true, because in our university, alhamdulillah, there is proper halal restaurant which provides authentically halal food. And in every street of China, you will find 1 or 2 kind of halal restaurants. But the main thing is that how will you signify, how will you find that this restaurant is halal? So for this, I have made a video. Watch that. If you're coming to China for the first time and you want halal food, so look for these 2 characters, this and this. It means Qingchen, which is halal in Chinese. So if any restaurant has these 2 characters on it, it means they make halal food, and probably the owner of such restaurant should be Muslim. Now you know that if you go to a restaurant and it has that 2 characters written on them, it means the owner of that restaurant is probably Muslim and they make halal food. So it is pretty easy for you now. And even on the products of food in the general stores in China, for example, the noodles and the other stuff which you want to know if they are halal or not, there will be written those 2 characters on that product. This character is also written on some of the products, as such as noodles. Yeah, this is the only thing which I think I need to share with the people, because the only thing which foreigners find difficult in China is that they find difficult to find halal food in China, but it is a myth actually. Alhamdulillah, in my city, I live in Xianyang, the province of Shanxi in China. There are lots of halal restaurants, Alhamdulillah. So yeah, and if you want more of these points, if you want to know more about China, let me know. I'm in China right now, I can make more videos. And let's move to the point 3. Now let's talk about what kind of transportations or modes of transports a student should use in China, so that it gets cheaper and it gets better as well in China for a student. So the number one thing which I recommend as a student in China is charging bikes. Just look at this. This is a charging bike and it will cost you nothing. By this I mean that it is a one-time purchase. You will purchase it in, like, it comes in a different range from 300 yuan to 1000 yuan, depends on the quality, but it is a one-time purchase. Why I'm saying this? Because when you will purchase this, after that you don't have to spend a penny on this. You just have to charge it, and then it will take you from 40 to 50 kilometers in one charge. So this is the best option for students living in China. Just buy this for one time and then you will be good. And there are other modes of transportation in China as well. For example, this bicycle which I am riding right now. Okay, so the next mode of transportation for students in China is this bike right here. This bike belongs to the Alipay company, which is a very famous company of China. We've been using this bike for almost 5 years, so it's great. The public transport of bus service in China is really good. It is really convenient because it only costs you 2 yuan. Yes, only costs you 2 yuan if you pay by the coins. But if you pay by the Alipay app, you will pay only 1 yuan. It gets more cheaper. And yet it gets more cheaper if you pay by a student card, which goes even more cheaper. So this is the some of the modes which students use in China, and I thought I should share with you. If you're coming to China for the first time, make a student card, pay by the student card, and you can get more concession on this. And the other options are like subway. It is also really cheaper. From 5 to 6 yuan you can move from city to city, and it's really faster. So yeah, I think this completes the transportation part of this vlog, and let's move to the final part. Okay, let's come to the last part and the most important part for a student in China, that can a student do part-time jobs in China or not? And believe me, this is the most frequently asked question to me by many people in Pakistan and many other countries, that can a student do part-time jobs in China? So the authentic and straightforward answer to this is that in China, a student cannot do part-time jobs even for an hour. This is a fact. And yeah, you can call it a drawback of China, because students need to make their way on their own. When they come to the foreign country, they want to pay their dues on their own. But in China, you cannot do that. If you are doing any online earning, that is fine, but you cannot do physical or offline jobs here. If you get caught breaking this law of China, you can be fined like 15,000 to 20,000 yuan. So keep that in mind. So thank me later that you had known this fact before coming to China. And yeah, that sums up this video. I think these are the 4 most common and the most important points which one should know before coming to China. And if you want more of these facts or more of these informations, let me know in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.
Say goodbye. Bye bye.